Okay, so welcome back to actually, you know what? Last time you guys heard my very lovely voice, you guys heard a lot about my backstory and my lore and kind of how I got into that and how I ended up in your ears. But today, you guys are going to be hearing from my wonderful, beautiful best friend slash co-host, Mallory. Mal Kirby is who she goes
Hey
by.
guys.
Ooh. So Mal today is going to talk to us a little bit about herself and her backstory and her lore. And we're going to just talk about a little bit of everything that we've gone through and our backstory together. So Mal, hi.
Hi.
Tell us a little bit about you, dude.
So I have been living around here for most of my life. I did move away for a short time in college times where I went to hair school, got all that stuff going. I've dealt with creativity, throughout my life. I love art. I love hair. I love all that fun stuff that comes with that. And I've always been a girl's girl for sure. My best friends have always been girls. So I love, chit-chatting with my girls, hanging with my girls, helping them through things. And I think that's a huge component to why I really was excited about this idea. Stephanie?
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, that's why Stephanie and I were excited to do this together, because we both are very similar in that part where we love helping our friends out, and we love, girls stuff, but we also, we save room for everyone, but we just love the girl talk. But yeah, that's the very short version of
The
my
very
lore.
TLDR version of who you
Yeah,
are. I wanted one really quick because you said something about how all of your friends have been girls and your best friends have been girls, and in my head I immediately thought about how weird it is sometimes when girls are like, "Oh yeah, all my best friends are guys." I'm like, "Who are you?"
Literally could never be me.
What do you mean?
I'm
How?
unfortunately only mainly attracted to men. But I mean, I find women beautiful, and I've,
Yeah.
maybe have kissed a woman here or there, but unfortunately it's always been men for me. So I enjoy men to a certain extent, and obviously I'm married to one, so I love him. But yeah,
Two boys are stinky, man.
women are just so much, I don't know, I just feel like so much more at home with them, like safer with them, like I can open up with them. They understand what it is to be a woman and just the girlhood that comes with it and the jokes. And I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, I love a fair many men here and there, like as friends, as, my husband, whatever, my dad, but there's just something about girlhood, man.
There's
just
something really
about
special.
girlhood.
Yeah, there's something really special about girlhood. And I actually saw this TikTok. You just reminded me. There was this TikTok the other day of a pizza guy delivering a pizza to a group of women, and they were having like a sleepover, and he delivered it to the wrong house at first. And it was like her ex-boyfriend, and they're like his new girlfriend was there, and he's like telling her all this. He's like, "Oh yeah," and then she asked if like he saw you today, and all the girls inside of the house were like, "No," and like you could see the excitement on his face when he's like, "Yeah, that's what she said," and it's such a sweet little moment because I think that Jen, this is just me speaking as a woman. I do think that men wish that they had that bit. And guys can sit here and be like, "Well, I don't like to gossip. I don't like drama." No, you do. You love it.
The guys that are close to us in our lives,
They
fucking
love it.
love that.
Yeah,
Like,
and I love it.
like
and,
sometimes Stephanie will come over and we'll just after my baby goes to sleep, we'll just crack a bottle of wine and just chat or whatever. And Roy's like, "Can I hang out?" And I'm like,
which I
"Yeah."
love. I think that's such a great quality to have. And I know my most recent ex, did not indulge in that,
Right.
and I didn't like that
No.
because I do have one friend that is like my best guy friend, and we're close because we've known each other for 20 something years now, but he kind of likes that too.
Right.
And I love that, and that's why we're good friends. I think because we have that history obviously, but I can talk to him about that kind of stuff. And it's so funny to me when a guy is into that, because they should be into that.
Yeah.
Like how boring is it to sit around and when guys are like, "Oh yeah, my best friend and his girlfriend of 13 years broke up." "Oh my god, what happened?" "I don't know."
Right.
What do you mean?
You didn't ask for one singular detail.
What are you talking about? Like, you can name me every single player for the Chicago Bears, but you can't tell me why you're best friend. And it's like
a juicy piece of gossip.
What do you mean? Get out of my house.
On. Yeah.
Leave.
Yeah.
Leave
And
here.
I know they have it in them because we've witnessed it. So
we've seen it.
Yeah. We've seen men partake in that and like it. So it's like, don't even lie to me, guys. We know you like that.
We know you like it and indulge in it, right? We love it,
right? Like,
you know,
we gotta. I don't want to go into toxic masculinity on our first episode together, but that's just gotta go.
Yeah, and I love when guys have that whole facade of I don't watch reality TV, but then what happens when you put on reality TV?
Oh, they're always just standing there
and they
working, watching it.
Yeah, they stand there watching it. It's like, weren't you gonna go like work out? Yeah. Just a couple more minutes.
Holding their blender bottle, just like
the protein shake.
Yeah.
Can you just sit down? Just sit down and watch it with me. Like, stop asking me questions and watch the show. Mm-hmm. So no, I think that you're absolutely right. I think girlhood is such a special and beautiful thing, and I think that guys would highly benefit from having friendships the same way that girls have friendships.
Right. There doesn't need to be a front.
Yeah.
Like, and I know there's plenty of girls that do have a front and they don't get real. But that's just like, I feel like it's more common with men where they like have to feel like they have to act a certain way in front of their peers to appear a certain way. But the girlhood I partake in, and like when I say I'm a loyal friend, loyal girlfriend, always there for my besties, is that type. I'm honest, sometimes to a fault, but I'm trying to get better in my older age of not being too brutal. But I'm honest, I'm loyal, I will do anything for you within my means, and yeah, I just love to just fucking beat a dead horse.
We love beating a dead horse too. That's our favorite pastime.
Yeah.
That is something that like I know I've talked about it before. I think I talked about it on episode 0 where I talk about beating a dead horse, and that's what we love to do. It's how we process. How many times have I voiced you? Because the main form of communication that Mallory and I use is Instagram voices, because we love to yap, and we're both really busy, and it's just a lot easier to get our thoughts across over a 5-minute voice versus a novel.
It's our own podcast to each other.
It's our own little podcast to each other. It's just, basically. And it's a lot of, beating a dead horse and talking about the same thing over and over again. And how many times have I just, paced around my house and told you and talked to you about the same thing over and over again. And it's such a wonderful thing to be able to do and not be judged for it, because I know there's other people in my life that have, been like, oh, you're still kind of on that. You're still talking about that. And it's like, yes, I'm still talking about it because it still hurts my feelings, or it still affects me in a way that makes me emotional. And I want to talk about it, because if I don't talk about it, I'm going to explode.
Hey, you don't want things like that to fester.
Right.
I mean, sure, everyone outside of your bubble of people you feel safe with, they might get annoyed or be like, why are you still focused on that? But the people that really like are there for you and really care, like, I love to beat a dead horse too, because if something's really bothering you, if there's just like this, it's almost like a itch in your brain that you just can't scratch, and the only way to get it out is just spew it over and over again and just be like, no, fuck this. Like, what the hell?
Actually, I am mad. I want to talk about it again.
Yeah, and that's completely fine. I feel like that's a normal human thing. Like, you're not just going to get over something, especially like big stuff. Like, sure, little annoyances here and there. Like, don't complain to me about freaking spilling water a million times in the same week, because that's a minor inconvenience. Like, that's not I don't care, you know what I mean?
Oh, that's so funny. That's literally an inside joke between us that we can't talk about, but it's so funny.
But yeah, like someone breaking up, or a friendship ending, or a big life thing that has been hard, or whatever, that shit needs to be beat sometimes. You beat it over and over again, whether it's dead or not.
Right. And I think it's a healthy way. I mean, it's either that or, I take it out in an unhealthy way. And I think talking to your friends about it, and something that we've kind of talked about, Mal and I, before, is that sometimes we get a new perspective of it, or sometimes we think about something else, or you know what, I left out this detail, and oh my god, that changes everything. And you know, there's a whole different story, even though it's the same story.
Right. Well, you get like stuck in your own like feelings and your own thoughts. That's sometimes another perspective from someone you love and trust.
Yeah.
Just like reworking the frame, be like, oh wait, I didn't think of that. Like that's actually a really good way of thinking of it, and it makes me feel better. And that's what it's all about, guys.
Yeah.
Guys and girls.
Yeah. And yeah, it's just like you said, a whole different perspective on it. And I think I don't know, it's super helpful. I know I love it. You know, sharing things with somebody, because man, I don't know what I would do if I couldn't talk to somebody about all that stuff. I think I would go crazy, or I would just be mad all the time. Yeah. But it is like a release, being able to talk about it and, you know, just have it all out there. And it's like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to bring this up again. I'm going to dig it back up. Yeah. Is that cool? Yeah, absolutely. It's cool. Like you said, it's, you know, if it's your friend and it's somebody that you care about, of course, that's okay. Yeah. You know, I don't think anybody should make you feel a certain way. And it's, you know, the whole, oh, are you still focused on that? No, I'm not focused on it. My life doesn't revolve around that. However,
I'm having a feeling.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about it.
And I want to talk about it. And you know what?
If you love me, you listen.
And you're going to listen to me. And if you don't want to, then I'm not going to feel safe around you anymore. Right. And that's cool too. But then you don't get to come to me about your stuff too. Right. You know what I mean?
Right. It's like, it's a give and take. You got to have a good, healthy, every person should have a good, healthy, like 2 or 3 people they can talk to about anything, no matter what.
Yeah. It gets harder too as you get older.
Yeah, that's actually a big focus of our whole idea of a podcast together. I mean, like, obviously, like I said, this is all Stephanie's idea, and I just kind of helped develop it. But that was a huge thing, is like going from 20s to 30s and nearing. I don't want to say it. Nearing. Never mind.
No. No. Me just jumping over the table and stopping you. No.
Anyway.
Please.
But yeah. It's been such a shift in how friendships work, how relationships work, how life is. And so we just kind of like wanted to talk about that too, and, you know, get our thoughts out about it. 'Cause I'm sure a lot of people have the same feelings and struggles and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And I think that throughout our friendship, Mal and I have known each other for, 17-ish years now? No. 15 to 16, something like that. Yeah. My years are all messed up, dude. The older you get, the more everything blends. And then COVID happened, right? And
who even knows what
that was? I lost that frame of time, so I don't remember anything. But yeah, we've been friends since about 2010ish, and in those years, we did lose touch for a while. However, we had a lot of moments where there was some real girlhood bonding moments, I remember 2 specifically, and I remember one time it was when I got in a fight with somebody at Finn's, because like we ran into this.
Side note: Finn's is a bar. So this is very millennial coded. Anyone that's younger than maybe like 33 probably won't really get this as much, but maybe 30. But back in our day, in our prime going out time, everyone went out. Everyone went out and got blacked out multiple times a month, if not a week. So there was a bar that was very popular in our, I wouldn't say hometown, but kind of. So yeah, when she says Finn's, that was that bar. It was like the main hub of the little downtown area that where we lived at that time. And it was a time. Like everyone between the ages of like 21 to 30, that's where you went if you lived in this area, from like Thursday to Saturday for sure. But yeah, anyway, continue with your Fins.
Yeah, no, so I remember we went there one night and you were going through something with a boy, and I remember I got into an argument with said boy about it and everything. And that was one of those moments where I was like, I'll beat somebody up for you. I don't even care. Like, give me another Jaeger bomb.
Yeah, and it was such a crazy time too, because my best friend at the time moved away for a while, and this was like right after college years, so we were kind of re-entering our hometown area, not having a solid friend group anymore. It was kind of all scattered around, and so she left for her internship, and I kind of felt like just a little nervous to go out, because I'm like, I don't really have a close girl group anymore. They're all off college, or they're living in the city or whatever. So I went out on a whim with Stephanie and a couple of girls here and there, and we just got so close so fast. Like, I feel like there was something about her, and I feel like hopefully she feels the same way about me. We're both recognizing each other that we're real ass bitches that are going to be there for our fucking friends.
Yeah. And then I do remember another thing that stuck out to me during our entire and there's been a lot of moments where we've had some really good times and we've been there for each other and everything. But I remember one time when I was living in the city, and this is around the time that we kind of lost touch, not as friends, but I mean, we were living, when you're living out here and you're living in a big city and your friends live in the suburbs, even though we're only 45 minminutes to an hour away, it is a journey. It's a hike to get out there.
Well, it's not just the journey, because if you take a train, it's like hour 20 ish. And if you drive, depending on what time of day, it can take you 50 minutes and it can take you 3 hours, depending on what time that you leave for rush hour and stuff. But the transportation can be a pain in the ass. Like, I don't know if anyone, and most people I feel like have been to Chicago that might be listening to this, at least at this point in our journey. But Chicago is a beautiful city. It's great. It's fun. It's amazing. But any transportation in a bigger city, because it's a pretty big city, public transportation and me don't mix. Like, I get very anxious. I get easily motion sick. And so for me, going out to the city, it's like a whole, like, prepping my mind, body, and soul for the transportation part. Once I'm there, I'm usually fine. I love bar hopping. I love going to see the city. I love new things. Being in the city doesn't make me nervous. It's just the
getting there.
Yeah,
the getting there. For me, it's the getting back that I hate. Where I'm just like, now I have to sit on a train for an hour and go back. Mm-hmm. So that's the part that because I'm such a brat when it comes to ending the night. I hate a night ending. That's like my worst fear.
Right.
But there was a time out there where I was going through a really rough patch, and I couldn't even tell you what year it was, because there was a couple times when I was living in the city that I had a really hard time. And I mean, there was one summer where I slept on a mattress in my living room for like a whole summer, because that was when I binged Dragon Ball Z for an entire summer. And
sometimes you just need a good mattress,
dude.
On the floor sleep.
It was so bad, and that was after a very big breakup. And I would just go to work, come home, not talk to anybody, and then like just do my thing. But one time I was really going through it, and you drove out to the city just to get sushi with me, and then you drove right back home. And I remember thinking, like, it was and I know to a lot of people it might not be a lot, but to me it meant a lot, because people don't do that anymore. Yeah. Like, people are, especially in this day and age, people don't go out of their way, I think, for their friends anymore. Where as soon as it's inconvenient, they're not going to do it.
They're like, I have boundaries, and I don't want to be inconvenienced.
Yeah, they call it boundaries.
Sometimes if you love someone, you need to inconvenience yourself sometimes.
100%.
Not saying that it was inconvenience, because I think at that point, I was working in a salon, but I had a very flexible schedule. And I feel like there was another reason I was going to the city. I don't remember anymore, honestly. But I remember I was like, okay, I'm going to the city. I must have been going to the city for something for hair. I don't remember what it was. But I was like, I'm going to make a point to ask Stephanie if she can hang out, because I never go to the city.
Yeah.
So I drove out. I had to drive, because I think where I was going would have been like a freaking pain in the ass to figure out transportation. So I drove, parked, whatever, did my thing, and then I was like, I'll pick you up, I'll take you, whatever, and we'll go wherever you want if you have the day. And she's like, yeah. So it was great, and it was just great to see her, because she, like I said, she was just one of those friends that I was just like, oh my god, this is like my best friend.
Yeah, that's how I feel about every day. I said that in the first, I think it was episode 0, when I was talking about how, like, there's never been a time where we've hung out and I've walked away not feeling like better or happier or whatever.
And that's what you should feel when you're with people that like speak to your soul. You should feel like recharged.
Yeah, you should feel better about life. And yeah, it's rare to find people, and like I said, especially as you get older, it's hard to find those friendships. And I really feel for the younger generation that grew up with social media, because we were on the cusp, right? Yeah. We had MySpace and Facebook. I mean, MySpace, we were already teenagers, right? And it was the very beginning of it.
Right. And it was like fun. It wasn't so where you're constantly on it and constantly checking things.
Well, and like the camera phones were awful.
Yeah.
Everything,
it was
you
all
couldn't tell
artsy.
anybody.
It was like its own form of art. Like, it wasn't really like checking in on everybody's move. It was just, oh, this person, you know, changed their layout and added a cool song and changed their top
and
8.
you had control of who was taking photos of you and
Right.
videos of you, and like I said, they were terrible quality. I mean, you look back on like the camera or the photos that we have on our like Facebooks and stuff, where like the quality is just so bad.
But like, you don't want to delete them because they're gems of your childhood.
Oh my gosh, no! There's photos that I found a photo the other day of like me dancing on the bar, and I was like, those nights were nights that I'm never going to forget. And I know that there's people out there that kind of feel like, oh my God, she's still this age and she's unmarried or she's whatever. I'm like, dude, I had the time of my life in my 20s and 30s.
With our people, our people our age, waiting to have kids.
Yeah.
Until our older years. Like, I started trying to have a kid when I was like 31, and it just didn't work for a while. But a lot of people like look down on that, and they're like, I think it's better to have kids young because whatever, you have more energy. I'm like, yeah, well, first of all, everyone's a dumbass in their 20s. Like, there's very few people I feel like that are, you know, mature enough and emotionally ready enough to fully dive into that.
Right.
You know, really, I mean, there's probably some parents that are great at it, but I'm just saying, like, the people I know, at least, I think it benefit a lot of people that in my friend group in my area to wait. And second of all, I had a blast. There's some hard times, but I had a blast in my 20s, and I didn't have to worry about any responsibility, really. Obviously, money was always a responsibility to worry about, but we didn't really care about that shit.
It was so different. Yeah, we just didn't. I mean, we cared about money, but like at the same time, we stretched it. We made it work.
Well, we're millennials. Like, we're like true millennials. We're like right in the middle. We're a little older millennial, but we're not the eldest.
Yeah.
And we're not the young ones. We're like true ass millennials where we've seen some shit. So we had the mindset, fuck it, let's enjoy this.
Yeah.
You know, and we made a lot of mistakes, but that's what makes you wiser in your 30s.
Yeah. And like you said, I think, and this is something that I've talked to my parents about, where I always say that I had so much fun in my 20s and even into my 30s. And even now, I'm still having so much fun that by the time I do find somebody and settle down with somebody, I'm not going to have any regrets. I'm not going to look back on my life and go, I wish I would have done that. I wish I would have done that. You know, I wish I wouldn't have settled down so early. I wish I could have experienced this. Like, I experienced a lot of stuff, and it was all so fun. And like I said, dancing on the bar in the middle of like all my girlfriends and, you know, meeting a bunch of strangers and meeting all these friend groups and like getting into all of these shenanigans that we did. I mean, they make for great stories now where you think about like
the weird trips we've gone on, the weird inside jokes we've done, we've been a part of, the going out to 4 a.m. bars, like coming home when the sun's starting to rise and little birdies are tweeting. You're like, whoa, and then you wake up a few hours later and you have like a half-eaten Crunch Wrap in bed with you and you're like, whoa, winning.
Rally. You know? You wake up and you crack open a beer because you don't want to feel the hangover. And yeah, I mean, those are some of the best nights. I always say that the night that we were at you know, you and Roy's house, this was forever ago, where we all stayed up all night. We pulled an all-nighter and then we went to breakfast. And like, it was, to me, those are the nights that I think
you just get into
movies are written about. Yeah.
Too. Like when you're like half drunk, half sobering up, and it's 5 a.m.
That's what it's about, man.
You just have the best chats with all your friends. You know, those
were the best times. And I think, you know, I think you don't get that as much when you're older, because obviously everybody's lives are in different places and there's more responsibilities and people are having kids and, you know, all this other stuff. And it's a little bit harder to pull an all-nighter when you're, you know, 36, 37 years old.
Body's a little tired.
I know. I think the last time I got really close to pulling an all-nighter was probably gaming with all of you guys.
No, I think I pulled almost an all-nighter back in COVID times.
Yeah, oh, for sure we did.
We did a couple. We
did
to
the
stream more.
Yeah, we did the 24-hour stream.
Yeah.
I think almost everybody stayed up with me. I was like, you guys are crazy, first of all. It was like 6 a.m. and I was like, what are you guys doing awake? Everybody just stayed up. Everybody was so cool. But yeah, COVID is when we started connecting again and kind of talking more and gaming more and getting more into the streaming and everything else.
What's funny about that is I had stopped gaming for years because I just didn't have a community that did it, you know, and I didn't have any gaming system. I think my husband had like a PS3 or something.
Boy stuff.
And I had like a few games on there that I played a little bit. Like I think I played Elder Scrolls a little bit here and there and whatever, but I wasn't really into it. And then, but I used to be a huge gamer nerd. Like I used to run a forum. I've always been moderator on a forum for a PC game back in the day. And yeah, COVID hit, and I actually caught Instagram Live that Stephanie was doing about relationship chats and stuff. So I was like, oh, this is so cool. So I started watching her, and I was like, she's so good. I love her. Whatever. I miss her. And then we started chatting more, and then I started being like, I want a computer. To my husband, I want a PC so I can play games. And, you know, he's a great man. So he obviously does whatever he can to make me happy. And eventually ended up getting a decent PC. It's been upgraded since then, but decent one. And yeah, we started gaming, and we all started Twitches. And Twitch was like at the height of its freaking existence at that point, where everybody seemed to be cool.
Seemed to be is the key phrase there.
And it was just like, you know, people had jobs still. I couldn't work because I was a hairstylist, so they literally wouldn't allow us to work since we were in close proximity to our clients. So I didn't have a job. So I was putting most of my time and energy into taking care of the house, cooking, and doing Twitch. So yeah, that was a great time in a lot of ways. Hard in some ways, but a great time for at least our friendship to blossom and to find each other again.
For sure. There was a lot of terrible things, obviously, that happened with COVID, but I do think, you know, reconnecting with friends and kind of, I think for me, getting comfortable being alone, because at that point I had been living alone for a few years, but I'm such a social butterfly. And
you were
Mel,
always out.
Yeah.
Or
Mel
you were
knows
late
that.
at work.
I was always out doing something. I was living in the city. There's always something to do. There was always a happy hour to go to, a party to go to, this or that, some kind of an event. Or I was working an event for work. So there was a lot of things going on. And when COVID happened, all of that kind of stopped. And for the first like 9 months of COVID, I was working a job that was very hectic. I was working like 12-hour days. It was so bad. But then I eventually left that job and I started working remote, and yeah, I had to get comfortable with just like being alone. Yeah. But gaming with, you know, all of you guys was so helpful for me during that time, where it was really cool. And it was, you know, we had this community, and obviously there's a lot of things that happened during those couple of years that, I mean, we'll probably get into that. Yeah,
maybe we'll be another episode one day.
We won't get into the specifics, but we'll definitely talk about, you know, the gaming community and the Twitch community and how we both kind of got away from it for a while because of things that happened to both of us. And I know I was kind of like, I stayed away from Discord, I stayed away from Twitch and all that because of the bad experiences that I had. But yeah, COVID definitely brought us back together in that sense. And then eventually I moved out of the city back to the suburbs, a little bit closer to Mal and her husband, who I don't remember if we mentioned is actually a very close friend of mine that I've known him since literally I was born. We were not blood related, but I call him my cousin.
Basically cousins, yeah.
Yeah. Which so it's really funny that happened. And then eventually I ended up getting a place 4 minutes down the road from Mal. Yeah, so literally. Yeah, we got a lot closer. And
yeah, I always tell Roy, I'm like, COVID sucked, but there was 2 awesome things that came out of it. It rekindled my awesome friendship with Stephanie, and it rekindled my love for gaming. Like, yeah, I left that part of me, you know, in the wayside with partying and doing hair and, you know, being social. I just didn't see time for it. I just didn't put time into it, but I enjoy it. It's like been a hobby of mine since I was young. I mean, I used to play Sega Genesis until that thing was like almost about to light on fire. I loved that thing.
Yeah.
So I love gaming, and I'm glad that I got back into it. And I'm obviously even more glad that Stephanie and I could get close again, because I just feel like we both needed each other in that moment, you know?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that every girl would be so lucky to have a close friendship with at least one girl. I think if you have that one girl in your life that, I mean, that's your person, or even that one friend, whoever it is, that is like your person that you can talk to about literally anything. There's no judgment but there is honesty
Right.
and there is, well, have you thought about it from this perspective or whatever? Because I know you've done that for me a lot, because sometimes, I get in my head about stuff and you're really good about that. And I think that a lot of people don't have that. And that's kind of why I started talking about the social media thing, is that I do feel for the generation that is so chronically online because they were forced to be.
Right.
They didn't really have a choice. They're not online all the time because like they want to be. This is a life. That's how they grew
almost
up.
everybody is, so it's like weird if you don't do it now.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you expect from them? You're giving them, cell phones from the time that they're
basically,
young, and
basically computers in their pockets. Our phones when we were in high school and going into college were like flip phones that called people and
barely
you had
did
to,
anything.
You had to do that thing where you press the button a certain amount of times to get the
Yeah.
letter to text
Oh my God.
until the little keyboard sliders came out.
Yeah, it was crazy, and to think that kids have to, especially nowadays, you have to. I think we've talked about this before, where they are so scared of being cringe, and I get that, and I feel like I have been guilty of that too, because I was scared to start all this. I was scared to start the podcast and to start, doing things because I was afraid that people were going to perceive that as being cringe. Oh, she's, 36 years old, or however old I was at the time, but now 37, like she's doing this and she must be, bored, or she must be this. And it's like, no, this is something I've always wanted to do. I know when I was young, like much younger, like I wanted to be a radio host. And I remember looking up what their salaries were and being like, oh, do they make any money? And I was like, oh, they make no money. Okay, maybe I don't do that. And, it just, obviously you need a certain voice and talent and everything for all that. But it's something that I've always wanted to do. And I was always so scared of being cringe. And Mallory knows this about me. I do get in my head about what people think about me and how I'm perceived.
Definitely more than I do. I mean, I feel like any human, most humans, when they're younger, they have a very big sense of like self-consciousness and like easily embarrassed. I was bullied when I was a young teenager, and I dealt with a lot of shitty, I wouldn't even call them friends because they weren't really friends. I thought they were back at the time, but I've dealt with like people just being terrible to me. So I definitely had times where I was very self-conscious and thinking about what other people think about me and worrying about this or that. But as I've gotten older, I feel like once like my early 30s hit, like maybe like 32, 33, I started slowly not giving a flying fuck about what anyone thought about me. And I still have times where I have little feelings like that, but it's definitely gone way down. And so when she gets in those mindsets, and it's gotten less, but when she gets in those mindsets in the past few years, I literally just tell her, like, who cares? This is something that we want to do for ourselves. And as long as we're having fun with it and one person enjoys listening to us here and there, that's all I need, Yeah. We're not here to, make $1 million and be famous.
Right.
Honestly, if we do get famous, I don't know how I feel about
that.
that.
I don't like that very much.
That's too much pressure.
It's too much. Yeah.
But like, this is something we wanted to do for us and just have fun with it. And I hope that comes across.
Yeah. I talked about that in episode 0 too. Is like, we're not trying to do anything, groundbreaking. This is literally just two girls talking about girl things and, just things on our minds. And we just hope that it resonates with some people. We hope that some people are into it and appreciate it. And I did see somebody post the other day saying that our podcast was giving millennial sleepover vibes, and I was like, that's probably the highest compliment that I could ever get. Perfect. Yeah, I loved that. I think that's so sweet, and I think that's exactly what we're shooting for. We want, again, this isn't a podcast that's specifically for the girlies. However, we are two girlies just doing our best out here, so we're probably going to be, the women are probably going to resonate with us more. However, I hope that the men stick around too, and I hope that we are able to talk about things that kind of give them a different perspective. And, that's something that when it comes to my dad, I talk to him about everything. Mm-hmm. I'll talk to him to, everything from how I'm feeling to my period to whatever. I'm like, I don't care if it makes me uncomfortable.
Same with how I am with my husband.
Yeah. Like, I want you to know about it because you should know about it. Right. This is how I feel.
Right.
That's how it's affecting me. And he's, my dad's really good about that stuff. And my buddy is really good about that stuff too. And I think it's so cool when they are accepting of it.
Right. Or they even, like, they learn something.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God,
right.
I never thought
I didn't
about
know
it.
that.
I
Right.
didn't know you guys had to deal with that, or I
Right.
didn't know that's like
you're in pain for this many days.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Or I didn't even think about how that would affect you. Like, yeah, now you know, all right? So don't forget about it.
Right. So it's like, now you know why I'm in a bad mood half the month. It's not me, it's the hormones.
Every man in 2024 learning what luteal phase means.
No, literally. No, also me learning what my luteal phase was. Because I will admit that, like, growing up, the sex ed that we had at our school was awful. I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah, it wasn't great where I was either, but I don't think anyone taught what the phases
Nobody
were.
taught us about phases or anything.
I think that was
like
something I learned from TikTok. The past
for
few
sure.
Years. Yeah.
Yeah, and people can talk, ish about TikTok all they want, but I know that me personally, I've learned a lot from it. I've definitely gotten some brain rot from it, but
yeah,
I
definitely feel
enough.
like my attention span's gone down a bit.
Dude, it's so bad now to the point where but also my attention span is so just horrible. But the other day I was talking to my mom about Netflix, and I was just like, I think I'm gonna like bump down my Netflix to the $7.99 one, because I think it went up to like almost $20 or something.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was like, well, but they have the ads. I'm like, but you know what? I think I gotta relearn it. I think I gotta relearn how to deal with ads, because I'm sorry, but all of these, fees and everything like that, I'm like, it's getting hard to live.
Yeah.
I'm like, and I don't think I watch all this stuff. I get Peacock for free through like Xfinity.
Right.
And that's what I watch the most. I'm like, I can watch Vanderpump all day. Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, I watch Netflix for certain shows, certain movies, but I don't watch it. I almost don't watch it enough to justify the full price either.
Right.
I feel like I watch YouTube more than anything, and that's mainly because of my daughter, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I do watch I have a few subscriptions that I really care about. And then, I have HBO every now and then, which we get because we have we have the Disney Plus Hulu package. But anyway, it's just TikTok it's definitely rotted the brain, but it's also been a huge help, I feel like, in a lot of ways. To learn like different points of view. I mean, I've learned how to do some of the stuff that we're doing for the Etsy side of this, and I've learned how to cook things. I've learned how to parent better. I've learned so many tips from it.
I learned how to make a blanket.
Oh yeah, that hand knitting. Yeah.
I love doing
cute.
it too. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh my God, I want to do this all the time. I just want to sit here and make blankets all day.
I've learned Procreate tips, just from that stuff. It's great.
It is. It's a great learning tool, and I think if you're using it right, and I don't think there's anything wrong with rotting once in a while. It's so funny when, my parents are like, well, you got to get off that phone. I'm like, well, and do what? Watch TV?
Right.
It's the same thing.
It's filling up a free moment I have.
Right.
It's fine.
And I've been trying to read more, because I know not last year, but the year before last year, when I was living out, after I moved out of the city.
Back to the other suburb.
I remember I read so much that year, and I think I burned myself out. I think I ADHD'd my way through that, and I was like, I think I'm going to stop for a while. But I got back into it, and now when I read, though, I get so sleepy. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, oh, man, it's tough. And then
it's hard out here for a gangster.
It's rough out here, man. I'm trying so hard, but the attention span is definitely. But yeah, I think that TikTok can be good for a lot of stuff, and I think we learn a lot of stuff from it and everything. But yeah, it is going back to like the social media and everything like that. It's tough to want to start something, and it's sad that it's tough, because it's so easy to start things now, as opposed to back, when in our early 20s, where if you wanted to do something, it was, you had to
take a class or something.
You had to do all sorts of things. You had to jump through hoops. You had to know somebody. You had to do whatever. And now, it's like, you want to start a podcast, then just do it.
Yeah, you look up a YouTube or a TikTok tutorial.
Yeah,
and you just do it.
Yeah, and it's so simple now, but it's so simple that everybody can do it. And because everybody can do it, you're seeing how easy it is for people to make fun of other people and just say things about them and whatever. Right. And it's a scary thing to want to put yourself out there when, anybody can just say things.
That's right. That's the point. I was like, what is the point of what we're talking about right now? That was the point, is that we were nervous about, or Stephanie more so was nervous about starting this and putting herself out there. But yeah, at some point you just got to be like, you know what?
I'm just going to do it.
Fuck the haters. We're just going to do it. We're just going to have fun with it.
Yeah. And I think that's what I was talking when I told my parents about what we were doing. I told them, I was like, the nice thing about it is that it's not a super high cost thing. Like, we're not starting this giant business where it's going to cost us $100,000 to start it.
By the way, thank you anyone that's listening that has helped us out, whether you followed or donated or whatever. Listened to this, rated, whatever. Thank you so much.
It's been really heartwarming to see how many people have supported us and been there for us. And whether you're, gifting us stuff from the Amazon wish list, or you're, donating to the GoFundMe, which all of that goes right back into the podcast stuff. We did some stuff around here. We got the pop filter. We're going to work on some other stuff too. All of those donations went towards that, and they're going towards other things that are going right back into it.
We're going to eventually do like how a lot of people with their podcasts, they film it, they video it and film it. That's such an old person thing to say.
Well, yeah, but take a video of it.
Film.
We're going to film it. Grandma's talking about film again.
But we're going to record it and put it up on video for YouTube or whatever the case. So that's the future plan. So yeah, we have a lot of ideas, a lot of plans, and wait, we didn't talk about the night we discovered this idea.
Oh yeah,
because this is like the whole reason what we're doing this. So it was like a random full moon night a couple of months ago, and we were each like a bottle of wine deep, and we already did our ritual, and we were both talking about like. I think one of the things was in our moon ritual was like wanting to pursue like a side gig thing. And we had talked about this with another tarot reader before. And I wanted to start a side thing with art. And then Stephanie was talking about doing something where she was like talking. Like, she's like, I don't know if I should restart my Twitch streams again or whatever the case. Or do a podcast, and we were like, you know what, let's fucking do this. Like,
let's do it.
Yeah, we're like, so we just decided, like, let's do this as like a whole umbrella company thing almost, where we have, like, we sell some art, we sell some tarot reading stuff, we sell.
Yeah, because I had talked about wanting to do tarot readings and selling them on Etsy.
Yeah,
and then I was like, I wanted to open an Etsy
I want to
shop.
open Etsy because I want to do art. And then I was like, it's such a good idea to like combine these two things, because the art I love and like a lot of the art I want to do is kind of like witchy inspired. Like, that's a huge part of my aesthetic, my hobbies, my, just like things I'm interested in is, my aspiration in life is, my final aspiration in life is to become a forest witch. Like, that's my final goal, my final
You're
form.
getting there.
Yeah, I almost have my forest witch house, and that's going to be the final form. But yeah, so that was my aesthetic, and I was like, that's perfect, because like that art will like kind of go with tarot reading and making moon rituals, because that's something we enjoy doing together. And then she was bringing up the podcast thing. I'm like, we could literally just group this all together and help each other out with everything, because we're both really excited about it. So yeah, it came off of a half drunken night, mixed in with us talking.
The best ideas.
Yeah, mixed up with us talking about Milli Vanilli and.
Forgot about that. Oh god, that's so great. What a great band.
And just like bad, terrible boys and things like that. Yeah. So it was a good night. But so yeah, anyway, we that was us to introduce that we're also doing the Etsy. So
yeah, and I think the Etsy is going to be really cool. I mean, that's also going to be launching on October 6th. So hopefully by the time that this launches and this episode you guys are listening to it, the Etsy will already be released, and the name of the store is Moonlight and Stardust Co.
Yeah,
right?
I think it's the actual like name that we were able to acquire. That's like our screen name or whatever is Moonlight Stardust Co. And then the name of the shop is Moonlight and Stardust. So,
we had to change some things around because people stole that name.
We can link it too.
Yeah,
I'm sure we can link.
Yeah, we'll make sure that we have all the links and everything. And if you guys ever want to, look up anything that we have going on, moonlightanddstardust.com, like Moonlight and spelled out Stardust.com. You can go to that. It's not a crazy website. Relax. I'm not a web designer.
We're not.
I'm just a girl, man. I'm just a girl trying to build a website and failing. But I did my best. We have our links on there, and that's the best I can do right now. However, if you guys ever want to like look up anything as going to have our Etsy shop. It's going to have the Spotify, the iHeartRadio, anything, anywhere that you can listen to us. It's going to have all the podcast links on there.
Social media.
The social media, the Etsy, the YouTube, everything is going to be on there. So you can find us there. But yeah, the Etsy shop's going to be cool. It's going to have, we just ordered some stickers that we have. So one of them got delivered. We have another one 2 shipments coming in next week. And hopefully we're going to get some more stuff. It's going to be Mal's artwork that is going to be turned into stickers, and I'm so excited for them.
We also have a couple friends that we commissioned a few pieces of art with.
Yeah.
And we made some of those into stickers also, so those will be available. I made a few, and I'm in the process of making a few more. I want to call it like the launch collection or something. We'll see how that goes. But then there's also going to be Stephanie Steggy is going to be doing tarot readings for people, like real life tarot readings, where she'll do a pull for you and write it all out. And she's done a couple for me, and it's always really cool and really insightful and interesting. Yeah, so,
I yap during my tarot readings too.
It might not even be with her voice, but she gives you a detailed
even when I type like a yapper too. But yeah, I'm excited I'm going to offer probably a handful of different types of tarot readings, and then eventually we want to open that up to longer, more in-depth tarot readings that involve artwork from Mal and some other stuff too. However, we are starting small. We're starting realistic. We want to make sure that we know what we're doing and that we're not getting in over our heads, and that we're not investing too much before, putting our foot in the door, I guess.
Until we see how things go.
Yeah, but we're really excited for it. I think it's going to be really cool. And I think at the end of the day, being able to create stuff and having the option to create without the pressure is so fun. Because again, we have our own livelihoods. We have our own lives outside of this. And we're both really lucky in that sense. However, we're really excited to do this because we're really excited to create. We are creative people. And I think that putting that together along with our history is going to be really cool. And I think more than anything, it's going to be cool for us. It's going to be a really fun thing for you and me to do. And, if that means that we get some other stuff out of it, awesome. If that means that we help people along the way, or that, other people enjoy it, cool, even better. So I'm definitely excited for it.
No, same. I think it's going to be really fun and really cool. And I predict that, I'm going to say it right now. I'm going to call it. If I'm wrong, oh well. Nothing bad's going to happen to me if I'm wrong, okay? But I think it's going to do well. I think, we're going to do a really good job. And I think we're going to gain some really awesome supporters. And we're doing a Patreon too. Do we mention that?
I don't know. We did not talk about the Patreon. No.
So speaking of supporters, we're gonna have a Patreon available. I think it's gonna be amazing. But I know Stephanie knows way more about Patreon than I do.
Yeah, I do. I used to do Patreon for my cosplay stuff years ago, and I loved it. It was so much fun. And what I love about Patreon is it gives me a deadline. I love a deadline. So what it is basically you pay monthly, whatever you want to pay. I mean, I think the tip jar starts at either $1 or $3 and goes all the way up to, I think, I don't remember off the top of my head, because at this point when we're recording, it's not live yet. So things might change a little bit, but we do have higher tiers and everything. And those tiers are going to range from just being a tip jar to receiving, tarot readings for yourself, a monthly tarot reading that is personal to you, getting just your horoscopes throughout the week, etc. There's going to be a lot of stuff that comes along with it. And again, if you guys want to read more into it, you can go to moonlightstardust.com, and when that opens up. And by the time that this episode is up, it's going to be on. It's so crazy. Yeah, it's so weird to be recording this before.
Than 3 weeks away.
Yeah,
which just feels crazy.
It's so cool to be like, the launch. Like, I was talking to people because I got invited to a family thing, and it's the weekend before we launch, and I was like, well, I can go to that, but I can't go for too long because that's the launch. And it's like, it's cool to have that, to have something to look forward to that we're creating. What a cool feeling. We're really excited about it. Yeah. I'm so excited about it. And I think that this is the most exciting. I've neglected pretty much everything else. I know that I'm on dating apps and everything, and I'm like, I don't care about you.
Yeah.
Who are you?
I mean, I can't neglect my daughter because that's a crime.
I don't understand.
But yeah, besides being a mom, I've been
I've been like begrudgingly having to do some house chores and begrudgingly having to buy food and things like that. But every free moment I have, whether it's after I put my kid to bed or if I am able to drop my kid off with, you know, an in-law or my mom or whatever, I've been trying to dedicate an hour or two just to get a few things done or work on my art for a few hours. Like I stayed up to midnight a couple times, like on accident, because I don't like to stay up that late anymore. It's hard for me to wake up, you know, at 7 a.m. with my kid. So I'm like, oh my God, it's midnight. I should probably stop working on this art now, even though I love doing it.
Right.
But yeah, I'm the same way. Every free moment I've had, I'm like, just this is what I want to work on. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a fun thing. I've been trying to work on a lot of stuff here and there. And like you said earlier, I get hyper focused and I try to kind of work through it. And then before you know, yeah, it's 12 o'clock and you're like, oh shit, I should probably
go to bed.
Probably maybe sleep. Or like I'll do it on my lunch break and I'm like, oh crap, I didn't eat.
Now I have to work.
Now I gotta go back to work. Yeah. So it's been a really cool thing and it's just been really fun creating and working on something else. And I think I mentioned this in episode 0 where so much of my life has been focused on relationships and trying to find that person. And I mean, Mal knows how much I've been dating and how many people I've dated and how I've really tried. And there was a couple years where I didn't date. And but that was like a COVID thing too. I mean, nobody was really doing anything during that time.
Factor.
But you know, I feel like there was still a part of me that was still trying or still kind of dealing with my own things, healing and just kind of dealing with stuff internally. And now I'm like, I want to do something that's just for me.
Yeah.
And I feel like cosplay was like that for a while, but I just eventually kind of grew out of it. I don't look down on it or anything.
No.
I love it. I love cosplay and I miss it. I do. I totally do. But it just doesn't resonate with me as much as it used to.
It kind of reminds me, and I don't have a huge reference because I never was in that like community very much. I always like admired what you did and thought it looks really fun. And I love Halloween, so whenever I had an opportunity to dress up for Halloween, I tried to go all out.
Yeah,
I freaking love that shit. But yeah, I feel like it's like almost comparable to like how you grow out of going out in your 20s.
Yeah.
It's just like certain things become, you don't want to put as much time into it anymore because you're busy with other things.
Yeah.
And, you know, which is a shame because it's like a huge hobby and a good release and stuff. But it's like you don't have time for stuff like that.
Well, and it becomes less of a priority because you don't really, I think, your heart's not in it as much anymore too.
It's like the same thing with friendships. Like some of the community kind of drifts away too. So you lose some of those connections.
Yeah. I think that was a part of it too, is that cosplay for me got a little bit kind of how Twitch got for us, where I had some bad experiences with certain people and it kind of drove me away. So I think that probably had a hand in it too. But there's definitely people that I see now that are still doing cosplay that I'm like, oh man, you look so good. Like you're doing so good. And you see people and they continuously get better and better. And I'm like, oh man, I'm here for it. I don't do it anymore, but man, I'm still watching you and you're doing great.
We're rooting for the good ones.
Rooting for you, man. I mean, one example is my friend Orbex. Like you know her from streaming.
Yeah. She used to go by Mom a lot.
Celeste.
Yeah.
She's incredible. And she gets better and better every time. And Faceless too. She gets better and better. And their stuff is so good. And I whenever I see their posts, I'm like, man, I'm like, part of me is like, man, I want to get back into it. But then there's part of me that's like, no, I don't. I just like watching you guys.
Right. I feel like it's like one of those things where I miss being in a salon.
Yeah.
I miss being in a salon so much. I miss the social aspect. I miss just getting out of the house and having a few salon friends. I had a really, really good friend that I used to work with for the longest time. And I'm still friends with her, but I just don't see her anymore. But at the same point in time, I'm in a different point in my life now where I'm mostly a mom and, you know, taking care of the house and, you know, doing things like that where I just don't have the time and I don't have a foot in the door of that career as much as I used to. So I feel like that's similar. Maybe that's more of a similar comparison where you just like, you don't have the resources anymore, basically, to really. And if you tried, it probably wouldn't feel the same. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I think it would be definitely different now. it was so easy before. I was living in the city, and I could travel to all these things easier, and I think I had a lot more energy too. And my job was a lot less. There's a lot less to do for it, and
not less time.
Yeah, I had more time back then, and not to say that people that do cosplay have the time. I think that they bust their ass, dude.
It's a personal. Yeah. It's a person to person.
Where do you want to put your time? Right? Yeah.
And
I think back then I used to put a lot of my time into that, and now I'm just like, you know what? It's just like, and then I think it comes back down to that, is that my heart's just not in it as much as it used to be. And I think that that's something I'm always going to cherish, and I love that time of my life. Would I ever cosplay again? Probably. I would love to at some point.
Maybe like a one-time return.
That would be interesting.
I would be here for it.
I know. I definitely at some point would like to cosplay something, but yeah, it's.
But this is like you were saying this was like the.
It's the equivalent.
Not replacement, but like the thing that's gonna fill your cup.
Yeah, exactly. This is something that makes me happy, and I'm excited to do it, and I think that this is something we could do forever, because we do this all the time. Like,
you guys are literally privy to like basically how it is when we hang out.
Yeah, this is exactly what it's like, except the only difference is that we're not sitting in this tiny little room, and we're not sitting in front of microphones, but otherwise we are drinking wine. Stash is sitting with me.
Stash is joining us.
He's hanging, dude. He's supervising right now.
He's very cute. He's a very good boy right now.
He's being a very good boy. He just wants to be where the action is. But yeah, this is essentially what we would be doing on a normal Friday night or whatever. And yeah, so you guys have gotten the exclusive look into it, I guess. So, but yeah, we hope that you guys enjoy the podcast. We hope that you guys enjoy hanging out with us. And
I know I enjoyed hanging out with Stephanie. So
you guys got to enjoy it too. What the heck? No, but we're really excited to keep on going. And this is I know I already did the intro to my stuff and my lore and everything else. And I'm hoping you guys got to, enjoy Mal's lore and a little bit about her, and
your lore
too. Together, you guys are gonna learn a lot more about Mal. You're gonna learn a lot more about me. I mean, we're gonna definitely talk about experiences and things we have gone through, and a lot of things that we hope resonate with people, because we have both, even though we live very different lives right now as far as where we are in life, we've lived through a lot of things that I think a lot of people can resonate with. I mean, you're married and you have a daughter, and you're 37 years old. I am single, and I'm 37 years old. I'm single and I have 2 cats.
I hate whenever she says things like that. She makes it sound so
because I'm like, what do I?
No, you're single and you're supporting yourself independently. And you've had a lot more dating experience than I have.
I will say I have a lot more dating experience than a lot of people.
Experience. I mean, I've had some experiences for sure, but her experience is, I think, more interesting and more extensive than mine. I've only had basically one big serious relationship, and that ended up being who I'm married to. Yeah. So, we have very different perspectives on a lot of stuff, but we also have a lot of the same views and sense of humor and things in common too. So I think it's gonna be really interesting, perspective and back and forth.
I think it's the fact that we are in totally different places in life, but have gone through a lot of the same things, but have also gone through a lot of very different things. Right. I think it's really cool to have that perspective and that experience and all of that. So we hope that you guys have enjoyed listening to us today.
I know I have. We've almost each drank half a bottle of wine.
Don't worry about it.
Redacted.
But no, we've had a really good time, and Mal is going to be back, of course. Like I said, she is my lovely co-host.
Yeah, and, what was the term we came up with?
The guest co-host. The guest co-host, I think.
Reoccurring co-host.
Reoccurring co-host. Yeah, that's what it was.
So I know that Stephanie has mentioned to me that she wants to try to have a couple of guests here and there. Maybe I'll join some of those. Maybe I won't. But I know for a lot of the episodes, I'm going to be here. So, just expect to hear my beautiful voice a lot.
Ooh. So I think we covered everything we wanted to talk about, right?
Yeah. Should we put that to rest?
Yeah, let's do it. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for listening. Appreciate you guys.
Cheers.
Actually, you know what? All right, I want to take a moment to send a heartfelt thanks to everyone that has donated and shown us just such incredible support. Your encouragement has been both motivating and just extremely instrumental in helping us bring this super fun dream and adventure to life. And we're just so excited and beyond excited actually to start the journey. So a few special thank yous to Samantha, Chiblet, Darth Silent Bob, Dave M, Jess Bagel, who has a health and wellness journal available now at colorcodedcookie.com, Katie Edward, who wrote Call on Me and is one of the few books that I've actually finished and loved and read and everything in the last year and a half, Dustin, aka Wicked Warrior, your face and body painting skills never failed to amaze me, dude. You're doing incredible. Our beautiful friends, Gloria and Joanna, Tim, Mauricio Ormachea, Greg, Squeegee, my friend Jason Abadi. Thank you for validating my thoughts while I navigate dating men. I appreciate you always listening to me yap. My lavender in life, Oz, who helped keep me grounded during one of the harder times in my life. To my wonderful family, my uncle Chris and his wife Letty, my incredible cousins, Eric and Chingona. You guys are always cheering me on. My parents, Mallory's husband, Roy, who I also consider to be my family. Your unwavering support just absolutely means the world to us. And then finally to Mallory, you listened to me talk about a dream out loud, about starting a podcast. And not only did you encourage me to take the leap, but you took it with me. And I mean, you're my best friend and I love you. And I couldn't imagine doing this with anybody else. So thank you guys again for listening, for being here, for supporting us and encouraging us. And we will catch you on the next one.